Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, December 9, well after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Commitment unlocks the doors of imagination, allows vision, gives us the right stuff, turn our dreams into reality. James Womack. We're all conduits. We receive energy, we give energy, and everything around us is energy. So we're energy moving within energy, so on and so forth. Our body-mind is a channel for the inexhaustible spiritual source of energy. Love, creativity that is found only in the present moment. The more present we are, the more our body opens to this manifesting power, and the richer our experience of this life becomes. With a consistent, relaxed, yet focused awareness on what we want instead of what we don't want, we will naturally and continuously manifest amazing things. And since the programming for the civilization has been that you seek outside of yourself. You go find yourself out there. Right? Go find yourself out there. Everything we need is inside of us. This entire universe and its divine consciousness is our very nature. This has total command over all the elements, atoms, thought forms in existence. This is the truth of who we are. We were told by others that we are a body, a name, an identity that has certain beliefs and limitations. These are all ideas about who you are, and only a fraction of the truth of what and who you truly are. To truly understand the powerful manifesting beings we are, we simply need to experience it for ourselves. To have this experience, we need to access our infinite potentiality by practicing dropping deeply inside. There is a deep stillness and silence within us, always that is intimately connected to the all-loving, divine, universal intelligence in the present moment. There exists an inner knowing and an understanding that we are all powerful and extremely magical. This body, mind, and this universe are a magical hologram in which we can create anything we desire at any time. When we have a consistent positive flow of intention and high emotional energy toward any desired outcome, this sacred magical universe has to assist us in the present moment. The real power of manifesting is only possible when we are truly showing up in the present moment. It's a big mistake that people make. because they don't know. See, they operate from the ego mind, and then they expect things to come to them, right? And they don't. The instant that we stop being, 100% engaged in what our now experience of life is, by getting up in your head about the past or future, life loses its juicy flavor, deeper spiritual meaning, an overall divine manifesting experience. When an open and centered energy, our thoughts manifest from our core creative self, and we magically co-create our life. Some of us have gone back, right? You ever been in a situation where we went back to something, all right, that you were interactive with, whatever it was. Could have been an old flame, could be an area, a lot of things. But let's just say in your past, you interacted with it. You ever notice that if you have done that and you go back there, it doesn't seem the same, does it? It really doesn't seem the same. That's why it isn't, because it's already changed. When I was knee-high to a grasshopper, little boy, in California where we lived, out the back of the house, on the sliders of the back of the house, there was this ditch. I guess, to me, it was like a canyon, because to me it was so deep. And I'd run down the side of it in the center. I couldn't believe how massive it was. Years later, much older, I drove by there on a trip. And it happened to be there, so I just went. And it was an area called San Rafael Village. And I looked, and I was blown away. Because that ditch, that cavern to me, right, was a little divot to now on how I viewed it. And, of course, things had eroded and been filled in, but it was like 1/24 scale compared to what it was when I was young and experienced it. You see, everything changes. And everything changes. The interesting thing about that is that everything that changes isn't real. This is how you know it's not real. This is your measuring gauge, okay, from your watching. Everything that changes is not real. The only thing that's real is you, the God within that body that never changes. It is divine perfection. It will progress to higher levels of divine perfection. But it is the only real thing that never changes. Isn't that right? So, of course, if you're with somebody and you go, that doesn't exist, don't you? They'd probably look at you like you were a beanbag or a Fruit Loop. But it's true. And as those of us who progress with the understanding that we are moving into a higher frequency existence, a new life, new surroundings. You won't, as time goes by, you won't recognize them. You won't recognize, like if you came back here in third dimension, and you had, and you were in fifth dimension, and so you just thought you would take a look-see on how third dimension's coming along. You would not recognize You could not make comparisons because there would not be any between New Earth and Old Earth. Everything any of us want, whatever it may be, you know, live by a lake, a colder climate, have more snow, warmer climate, you know, more water, so on and so forth, whatever it may be. A gazillion dollars, wonderful health. It only exists in this moment. That's it. That's the only place it exists. Everything we want is contained within this universe, and this universe only exists in this moment. Why would we look any place else for what we want? Manifesting energy is only found in the here and now. And there's more of it than you could ever use. The present moment is more amazing than anything that the mind can conceive of. It is the only place that we truly exist. Once we surrender our life to the present moment for many days and weeks, we will have a shift in consciousness that is so profound that our life will never be the same. A dynamic transformation will unfold through you, and you will see that manifesting your desires is effortless and joyful. Miraculous, synchronistic events will become your everyday life. A sense of inner peace will prevail. And within each moment, there will only be time for you to shine your light onto this world. Surrendering to the present moment is how we bring truth, vision, purpose, and meaning to our lives and step into being the divine, magnificent beings we truly are. Now, an exercise that you can do is to sit down for 20 minutes every morning and meditate on each of the three foundational manifesting principles that I've shared with you. There is no right pattern, meaning you can flow from one into the other and repeat any one that you wish for as long as you want to. Excuse me, just relax and fully experience each of these three ways of being so that your body digests them completely. If you want to have even more fun with this exercise, feel each one resonate within a different chakra, energy center, or in your body, use the breath to breathe it in and out of each chakra. These are all transitional phases that we are experiencing right in this now moment. The knowing. We are redefining, re-educating ourselves in a higher frequency by choice. As we do this, we will begin to discover everything that we have forgotten. When what we are, omnipotently powerful we are, totally immortal we are, and master manifestors we are. See, when you're a master manifester, which there's nobody on this planet that is, that I'm aware of, you would sense your intention, you would send your intention in the now. It's not going to happen in the future. It's not going to happen in the past. It'll only happen in the now. That's how you launch it. You move that energy into form. You create it into reality, and you experience it. And you can only do it in the now by focusing on the breath, listening to it, and the space between heartbeats, being in a very still, like a statue position, comfortable, with no outside interruption. Then state your highly detailed want, desire, universe. And we got to also understand that the mind is always thinking. That is its job. It is always planning and pretending, hoping and wishing, pondering and probing, dreaming and scheming, and yearning for more. Basically, 99% of the time, our mind is busy capturing data, processing it, assimilating, and creating new information. It is extremely occupied trying to make sense of all this data and learn what it needs to know so we can become, do, and have whatever we desire. The mind is necessary to have an experience in this body and is vital for our survival, yet it doesn't know how to stop thinking and discover a permanent state of bliss within. And the mind is indeed an awe-inspiring analyzing machine that functions a lot like a computer. Guess where computers came from? The mind. And so the mind can process, assimilate, and imagine anything if given enough time. We could even figure out Einstein's mathematical equations to space and time if we had a few decades and a burning desire. And yet, with all its amazing power, there's one thing that the mind cannot provide for us, and that is everlasting inner peace. The mind is useless when it comes to discovering the eternal spiritual source of joy, love, and satisfaction, which is always at our core. The really interesting thing about the mind is that it only exists in the past or the future. Isn't that right? Very interesting, isn't it? It only exists in the past or the future. What about the now? It only knows yesterday and tomorrow. Why do you think we all suffer? The mind simply cannot exist in the now where peace resides. It spends all of its time in the future or the past. It is incapable of remaining in a state of peace because all its yearning, striving, and efforting to arrive there just creates more feelings of lacking peacefulness. It is always trying to get somewhere other than here now. You ever notice that? It is always wandering. It's wondering what's going to happen next or processing what has just happened. We dare you to try to keep your mind present in the now for this moment. Try it. Just for a few moments right now. Let the mind reside only in the now and see what happens. And then you ask yourself the question, did life suddenly become more peaceful? You may have caught a glimpse at the crazy life that manifests from living in a small mind that is continuously obsessed with the past and future. All day long, all year long, all lifetime long. With the mind in charge, we can never find peace. The mind never stops to rest. And the now, because it would lose its job. It operates from the perspective that the now is not okay in some way, and thus it must always improve or change it. This is the exact opposite of the energy of inner peace, which stems from a deep knowing that everything is always perfect in this entire universe in this simple, sweet moment. I don't know how many of us ever contemplate or think about have you ever wondered what your life would be like if you were truly free from the mind? What would even one day be like for you? Imagine that day is today. Birds are singing, breeze is blowing, and you're able to hear, smell, and feel the beauty of it all. Of course, you could hear what the mind was saying if you paid attention to it. Yet you choose instead to observe it, not get caught in its entangling dramas. Being the divine witness, watching it all from a higher perspective, you find peace by dropping the mind. True peace is a state of no mind. You can either choose peace or mind. And peace of mind occurs only when there is no mind. It is absolutely essential for us to know our mind so that we can transcend it. We need to understand how to let go of our mind so that we can find peace in any moment of our life. You start with trusting the process of, again, letting it go. Trust, big one. Trust that you are on the path to finding total freedom from the constant chit-chat in the mind. This choice is the first step on an infinite journey. The second step is knowing that your mind is connected to an infinite divine intelligence, that it is always leading you towards enlightenment. Even if it doesn't look that way. The third step is to imagine what it feels like to be free from your past, future, all your desires, inhibitions, fears, doubts, worries, and expectations. And yes, imagination is employing the mind, of course. Yet what other tool do we have to use to free ourselves from its grasp on us? So keep imagining what it feels like to infinitely dive into a permanent feeling of freedom. Once you can imagine this and hold this thought for several minutes, the real deal will soon follow and find you. So it's interesting. Ultimately, we need to use the mind in order to drop the mind. We got to use the mind in order to drop the mind. To find total freedom in this life, the mind has to step down from its pedestal and get out of our way. Yet, who is going to coax it to step down? We are. And this decision to choose freedom over everything is the key. Freedom over everything. What do you think that feels like? You don't have worry, you don't have stress, you don't have fear, you don't have anxiety. You're blissful, happy, joyous, footloose, fancy-free. What do you think that would feel like? No doubt, no lack of confidence, no lack of trust. So, sooner or later, all of us will soon find something amazing inside of us when the mind surrenders. We turn inwards towards the divine spirit that we already are. So relax and bask in the light of this eternal, peaceful experience of pure being. Once you realize that this is available, in each millisecond, following your daily mind chatter is the last thing you're drawn to do. The mind is awfully interesting, and yet it's the major block in the way for us to find true freedom. When we drop all of our attachments to it, we begin awakening to a much bigger reality that goes beyond the walls of what is inside and outside of ourselves. When we deeply realize that who we are is not our mind, nor our thoughts, nor our emotions, nor our body, and the awakening process begins. Start with finding the silence between each thought, the space between ideas. Goodness gracious, we all have enough of those. The space between ideas speaks to us in a way that goes beyond what can be spoken. By listening to this gap between words, this ordinary life suddenly becomes very profound and meaningful. It is only in this space of silence that we will find total freedom and the constant flowing river of peacefulness. Now, I'm sure that we all can see that the mind cannot exist in silence. The mind cannot exist in the spacious infinite universe that is everywhere now. If you want to rid yourself of the constant struggle of thoughts and negative emotions in your life in this very now moment, keep surrendering to this silence. And once you find this silence, the mind relaxes. And then you discover the foundation of your very being. Once you confine yourself to this present moment, core, essential, foundational presence, your entire life is instantly healed and enlightened. Why wouldn't everybody be doing this? Do you know what the answer to that is? They don't believe in themselves. They don't trust themselves. They don't have any faith in themselves. That's why. That's why not everybody is doing this. Now, when the mind disappears into the profound silence of the now moment, we also will discover that we don't really exist. The mind disappears into the profound silence of the now moment. All of us, sooner or later, will discover that we don't really exist, or you don't really exist. The personality construct fades into the background, merging with the millions of other ideas. We soon will begin to know ourselves as this profound silence and realize we are this infinite, timeless essence that is always present no matter what crazy thoughts abound. Even when the cacophony of our minds feels almost deafening, this silence of pure beingness continues to permeate everything. The more we allow our mind to quiet, the more we can tap into this ever-deepening, peaceful energy that is our true nature. We are naturally this vast, calm reservoir of silence. Even when our mind causes ripples on the surface of this lake, the stillness at the core of our being is never touched. Now, an enlightenment assignment that you could do for the next 7 days, spend as much time as you can every morning when you wake up and every evening before you sleep, diving into the gap between your thoughts. Rest deeply into the silence you'll find between each word. Simply close your eyes. Focus on the space that exists between each thought. Notice that in this space between your thoughts, there is only pure consciousness. Relax into this consciousness. If your mind gets busy, which it will, this space will be a very tight, small gap. Gently return to relaxing the body, diving into the space again and again and again. Gently return to relaxing the body and diving into the space again, again, and again. Keep diving into these tiny spaces, and eventually the mind will slow down. The space will expand. You will, we all will, one day find this amazing ultimate freedom from the mind. Could be now. Keep surrendering to the process. It is a big one. And know that the result is an ultimate freedom from all suffering that will make the rest of your life a living bliss. Join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out.
Take an easy and slow breath in through your nose. Easy and slow breath out from the mouth. We are all here on this planet to share love and be loved. Love is the cause of joy in our lives, and fear is the cause of all suffering. And each moment is your choice. It's our choice as to what we wish to experience. Check it out for yourselves. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and into the following morning. We will return here Sunday, December 10, 2023, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest. Eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's going on within you or outside of you.